Hello, I'm Seema Rao, Deputy Director and Chief Experience Officer of the Akron Art Museum. Today, I'm sharing 5 artists, all of whom are women, who I love and I'd love you to get to know. Beth Van Hessen was a Northern California printmaker and draftsperson who is well represented in the collection. We have a number of works by her. And for this Magnolia Blossom print, we also have the preparatory drawings, and you can see the artist's process on some level. And so Beth started with really a very realistic image of this magnolia bud and the leaf, and all of the veination in the leaves, for example, and all of the striations in the stem, to this image, which has been simplified, and you see really just the forms and the shapes of the bud, and the leaf no longer has all of the realistic veins, but instead is a simple green form. This allows your eye to go around all of the spaces. Printmaker Chun Yang is worth getting to know. She's an artist who works in Northeast Ohio, and she has a wonderfully complex process. This print, for example, uses many different elements. You see that there are parts of it that are stenciled. There's ink. She uses screen printing, which is the process of creating an image on a screen that is then, ink is then pushed through that screen onto paper. And then she uses also wood blocks. So in a wood block, there is a wood block that has been carved, ink is put onto the block, and then the paper is placed onto it and then pressed. So you get in this wonderful layering of different elements and textures. Jeanette Klutz, Apple Blossom, has a direct appeal. You have the beautiful central blossom with all of the exterior space sort of blurring out to the edge, moving your eye back to the center of the frame. Klutz was, in her day job, worked at Kodak in the visual research studio. But in her private time, she was an explorer of nature and created many nature photographs that are in the collection. She said she wants to express the feeling of being out of doors. And, quote, "The woods are mystical and enchanting to me as well as spiritual." Meredith Rubenstein is a living artist, born in Detroit, now residing in Santa Fe. She's known for her use of unusual materials and complex ideas. This work shows one of the oldest trees to survive in Vietnam, and it's printed in vegetable ink on handmade bark paper. And if you can see this, if you would see this in life, you'd see that not only does the image have a lot of texture from the gradations of gray in the image itself, but also the fact that the paper is not commercially made. Carrie Mayweam's Sea Islands series explores the legends of the Gullah, the people living on the coastal islands of South Carolina and Georgia. Many of Weam's photographs have this sort of 3-part or multiple-part element with text and visual imagery. And so we have 2 images of the lands of the Sea Island, and you can see how lush they are and how unspoiled. But in the middle, you see text, and the text says, one midnight at high tide, a ship bringing a cargo of Ibo men landed at Dunbar Creek on the island of St. Simon's. But the men refused to be sold into slavery. Joining hands together, they turned back toward the water, chanting, "The water brought us, the water will take us away." They all drowned, but to this day, when the breeze sighs over the marshes and through the trees, you can hear the clank of chains and echoes of their chant at Ebo Landing. So then when you look again at the imagery of the land, those words can resonate in your head, and you can rethink what these spaces that still exist today mean to people, to African American people, and to all Americans.